Hey everybody, we are live again, Swamp Justice Radio with James Seidel, Crime and Cask Investigations. We are on 97.7 WVFF, Veterans for Freedom Radio in Cottageville, South Carolina, the Truth and Broadcasting Corporation. And so we've got a little Swamp Justice Radio playing here right now, but today we have a very serious conversation and interview today with two sisters that are cousins to a one Donnie Birchfield Jr. Out of South Carolina, out of Lancaster County, South Carolina. And we're going to talk a little bit about today. Donnie has been charged with neglect of vulnerable adult. He's also been charged with murder in state of South Carolina for having 4 people in his basement at his parents' house. Now, this is just an interesting case. We're going to talk about it here, but I want to bring on his sisters. We have Leeanne, Lightsey, and Jennifer Whitlow. I'm going to bring them onto the stage here. There we are, ladies. How are you guys doing today? Thanks for coming on, especially at the end of the year like this. I know how things get busy.
Oh, you're welcome.
And this story is such a tragic story. And it caught everybody, I think, at least in South Carolina, by surprise of just the depth of how far this thing went, of having 4 people in your basement and making it sound like they couldn't leave. And if
That's
I'm
the way
saying
they
anything,
sound,
huh?
but that's the way they make it sound. But knowing what we know as family members, that was not always the case.
Well, let's talk about this. So there were 4 people that were in this basement, and I want to make sure I get these names right. The first one that I have here is Alvin Arnsdorf, and
Yes.
he's one of the alleged victims. He is a person with a disability,
Yeah.
Yes.
learning disability, or just
I would say
Uh,
a mental, he's not up to where he should be mentally.
okay. And then he was married to a woman named Shirley Arnsdorf. She was 49 years old when she passed away.
Yep.
yes.
Okay. And then there was 2 other people that were there, allegedly living in this basement. And there were girlfriends. Am I using
Girlfriend.
the correct term? Girlfriend?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And one of them was Berfilia Elise Tovar. She was, I believe, 18, 17 when she maybe moved in, but she's
17
18.
then
She,
18.
she
All of it.
actually used the address that 425 Churchill Road in Lancaster County, which is the home of Donnie Birchfield Jr. and Sr., as her home address in her booking. And then there was one other girl, was it Brittany?
Great.
Brittany Rollins.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got 4 people living in this basement.
I would say there's only 2 true victims. I would say Shirley and Alvin are the only actual victims.
Okay,
If you
so
look at the state of Alvin and Shirley, Alvin was like 85 pounds, Shirley even smaller than that. And Brittany and Barfilia still had weight on them. So, I mean, if he's denying food and feeding them once a day, wouldn't they also be as weak and vulnerable looking as those 2 did?
right, I see the. I'll show you here in a second. If you guys can see it, let me see if I can add this on here. I'm going to share a screen. They're going to show you. Um, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a picture of Berfilia Elise
Yeah.
Tovar. And she is, yes, she does not appear to be anywhere near starvation as Shirley
He
would have
got
been.
charged the same night Donnie Jr. did. I'm guessing they would have probably have arrested Brittany had they known she was there. Even by Detective Brown's own testimony on the stand, he said Brittany was hiding. They didn't know Brittany was in the basement till later she came forward. So I'm guessing if Brittany had been found, she would have been arrested too, just the same as Raphaelia.
So now I have a picture of this house. We're going to go through this. This is kind of a bad picture, but it doesn't appear to be a very big house. I'm sure the basement kind of drops down in the back, but I think yesterday when I spoke to Jennifer, you had told me that there's 2 bedrooms in that house, in the
Two
basement,
bedroom basement, yes.
and then a living room, and then there's a bathroom, but it wasn't working. Is that
They
correct?
said it wasn't working, yeah.
It wasn't working, yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to get, for all the listeners and people who are watching this, trying to figure out, this is
I don't,
probably a 3 or 4 bedroom house upstairs
yeah.
with maybe 2 bathrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and a 2-car garage. So it's not a huge house, and it has a basement, so it's a finished
Yeah.
basement.
And
So
Alvin had a car when he first started staying there. So how do you not notice a car parked in your driveway all the time, knowing that your son has no driver's license?
okay, but for and again, let's put this in the context for everybody. Donnie was arrested at the age of 35,
Yeah.
and he didn't have a driver's license.
No,
No,
he's never had a driver's license. He's never been dependent.
he is very dependent on his father for everything.
His father is Donnie Birchfield Sr.
Yes.
He's a pastor at Friendship Baptist Church in Lancaster, South Carolina. And he
Yep.
also lives with his stepmother, and her name is Wynette. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Wynette Birchfield. Um, and he has a sister named Gracie,
Mm-hmm.
so your cousin. And then there's another cousin who is weirdly disappeared. And I found a picture of him in a Lancaster High School yearbook. And this is from the 2020 yearbook. I don't know if you can see this.
He graduated high school, but it was after he graduated that he just kind of disappeared. The
And this
family
is,
was told there was an argument because at the age of 18, he's now an adult. And he told his daddy that he did not want to attend church anymore. He didn't believe in God. And according to what the family rumor was told to us, was that Donnie Sr. told him if he didn't want to abide by the rules and go to church, then he could move out. They say he just moved out. What child don't contact his mama, his sister, or his brother? You
so
just move out.
there's a
Or
lot
his
of questions.
grandma or anybody.
Cousin, anybody.
Yeah, he
We
don't
have,
contact nobody.
so here's where I had I've got a private investigator working with me on this, Boone's Private Investigations out of Lancaster, and one of the questions she had is, how does an 18-year-old, where do they have a vehicle? Do they have money? Do they have a
No,
place to stay?
no,
No, he didn't have a driver's license either.
no. Or a car.
No.
So I have contacted everybody who was a Facebook friend of his, and the last Facebook post was, I don't know, 2019 or something. I had one person reply, they didn't know where he was either. So,
Mm-mm.
and the other people, there wasn't that many. There was probably maybe 20 Facebook friends. Nobody seems to know where he's gone.
No.
And so, where
The
is Grady?
detective claims that he has spoken with him on the phone and that he wants nothing to do with none of them, and from his childhood and stuff that happened inside that house, he just wants nothing to do with nobody. Well, being this with this case going on, wouldn't you think that the detective would still subpoena him in, because he would be a great witness?
He was there when Brittany came to live there. He was there when Alvin and Shirley came. So Grady has info from inside that house, just like Donnie Sr. and Wynette and Gracie does. So why wouldn't they want to talk to him more?
How old was Brittany when she came to live there?
She was
14.
14 then,
She's 14 years old.
Yeah.
and Donnie was 25.
who? Well, that doesn't make. Well, that would have been 10 years ago when she moved in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So who was her family? I mean, who's letting a 14-year-old just move in with the?
Apparently, her family is from North Carolina, right, Jennifer?
From my understanding, her family's from North Carolina, but they met Donnie Jr. at Donnie Sr.'s
Sure.
church.
Yep.
Alvin and Shirley met Donnie Jr. through Donnie Sr. at the church.
I'm not sending my 14-year-old daughter to go
No,
live with
No.
anybody.
but that seems to be who they prey on. The vulnerable, like Alvin and Shirley, and the young ones that maybe mama is having some issue and don't care that her daughter is gone for a little bit or
Uh-huh.
even forever. I mean, that seems to be who they prey on. The ones that family's not going to look for them because they know they're over here. They're safe as long as, they're alive. We don't care.
Okay, so then on August 2nd of this year, Donnie Birchfield Jr., he's 35, was arrested, and they arrested him on 16 counts, including false imprisonment, aggravated domestic violence, financial fraud, and abuse of a vulnerable adult. And this was followed, I'm a call to local police on an unattended death in the home, at that home on July 25th. And that was the death of Shirley.
Yeah.
And do you know how Shirley died besides being malnutrition?
They say she was strangled.
And they say that there's apparently little Donnie's fingerprints, none of that was on her neck, but there was what, 4 other ones on her neck?
The other DNA. But
3.
they didn't test Junior and they didn't test Alvin. There was 3 other DNA on her neck.
Yeah.
Who initially, do you know, because who initially investigated this? Because the Lancaster County Sheriff's Department, this must have been the police department, because Lancaster County Sheriff's Department's not involved. So it must have been the Lancaster City Police Department. And then
Brown, is he the original investigator?
So Brown is the lead detective, yes.
From the city, and now SLED has taken over in the state attorney general's office as prosecutor.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a lot to unpack here. So we've got 4 adults living in a basement, one of which started living there 10 years ago at the age of 14.
Yes.
Then we have Berphelia, who moved in when she was 17, right? Here's
Yes.
Berphelia. Were these just friendly relationships? I mean, what kind of relationships?
Steps, like they were his girlfriends.
Yeah.
Donnie Jr.'s girlfriend.
Yep.
For a guy who doesn't have a driver's license,
he gets around a lot.
He gets around.
Yes.
Yes.
And Berphelia came in as a dig at Brittany because apparently Brittany had been talking to other men online. So that's how Berphelia ends up in the household, because Donnie found her to, I guess, a one-up at Brittany.
Interesting. Now I have these are the actual warrants for Donnie Jr. This one here is financial fraud. He stole from bank account information and used it for his own financial gain. That is just
when they
one
were
of them.
traveling and they were in Tennessee, my mama told me that Brittany was using just as much money as what Donnie Jr. was, and that it was not their money, that it was Alvin and Shirley's money.
And because both of these, Alvin and Shirley, they probably were receiving some sort of government assistance.
It's his responsibility. Maybe Alvin had some money saved up from the wrestling competitions he used to do.
And
Yeah,
here,
so that seems to be the connection with these guys. Maybe it was church, but I'm showing a picture right now to
Yes,
everybody, and this
it
is
was
Donnie
wrestling.
Jr. Seems to be a big wrestling fan as well.
yeah.
Yes.
And
There's
here's
the
my question. Donnie Jr. didn't have a job, but he was ordering TVs and stuff offline and having them delivered to the house. Well, stepmom and dad, I mean, wouldn't you say, where are you getting the money for this stuff? Because it's being delivered to their house.
he just how
So
big was that?
and
Right.
there's just no way that the rest of them did not know what was going on.
Well, for what reason was uh, Alvin and Shirley living in that house? Okay, I get the two girlfriends. He's got girlfriends. Parents apparently, even though they're pastors and run a church, are allowing women to live with their son in their basement. I get that. Okay, but why are Alvin and Shirley living there?
From what we've been told, Alvin and Shirley's landlord said that their apartment that they lived in looked like they went to run errands and just never showed back up.
We were told they got evicted and needed a place to live.
Yeah, but the landlord said something totally different.
Who said they got evicted?
Donnie
That's,
Jr.
that's what we were told, yes.
Donnie Jr. said that they were evicted, and he just happened to have a place for him to stay.
Yep.
Yep.
But their
All right.
landlord has told Detective Brown that when they went missing or moved out or whatnot, that their apartment, they left everything behind. They didn't take anything. It looked like they went to run errands and just disappeared.
I mean, didn't anybody file a missing persons? Did these people?
That's what we have wondered, because Alvin has a sister that has come forward and said that she had tried to find him, but I mean, apparently you can file a missing persons report.
And she only lives 6 miles away from the house where Alvin and Shirley was.
Got it.
So none of this makes sense. And again, like I'm saying, vulnerable adults, young kids, family didn't want them, and somebody else was. It was their problem. So they just didn't think to check on their family members.
Yep.
I mean, so the police are alleging that you've got a separate living area where the victims, Alvin and Shirley, were deprived of food, deprived of medical care, and the ability to leave, even though they had a vehicle there.
Yep.
Not only that, but when Wynette would cook, she would go to the basement and open the door and holler, Donnie Jr., there's food if you want anything. Did she not know and hear the other people when she opened that door?
I mean, anybody with kids knows. I
Yeah.
can hear. You can hear them, in the other room. Um, but the court records also allege there's financial exploitations using the bank account of the of Don, excuse me, of Alvin and Shirley, including misuse of their debit cards to pay personal expenses.
And I still think that Donnie Sr. was using just as much of that money as Donnie Jr. was.
Why do you think that?
Because there's stuff that they did that our other family says, how did they get the money for this?
He's got new arcade games, not something you play on your TV, but the actual stand-up arcade games like you go into the arcade. They
So,
have pinball machines, they have new vehicles, they pay off the house that in the churches. They bought the house and paid it off. They bought Gracie a new car. Where's this money coming from? I know the church pays them to be the preacher, but there's no way the church is giving them that much money.
I mean, I can't I can't fathom that Alvin and Shirley had a tremendous amount of money. I mean,
I know
government
they spent
income.
$12,000 in like a month's time. To me, that makes it sound like somebody got to pay, a back pay like SSI or disability. Somehow Alvin and Shirley got some kind of big lump sum of money for them to have $12,000 in 1 month.
So I'm showing a picture. This here is on the left,
That's Big
Donnie
Donnie.
Sr. There's Wynette. Then there is Donnie Jr. And you've got Gracie and Grady. This picture's old. It goes back, what, 12 years?
They look like an all-American perfect family until you delve into what really goes on behind closed doors like we know.
Yeah, because that little smile on that Grady right there is not the same.
No, not at all.
No. Beaten down in that photo.
He really does.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like he knows
that's
what's
his
going on.
photo. He should be happy.
I'm going to remove that here. Let's talk about this. So let's go back in time a little bit because there's some family history that we talked about and I wrote about in the article at crimeandcast.com, and we talked about Donnie Sr. So Wynette is not his first wife, is that right?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the second.
She's the second. And the first one was named Monica.
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 Did you guys know Monica?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Was one of my favorite aunts.
and she died in the year 2000 at the age of 27.
Yes.
Yes.
According to what I can find, which is not a whole lot, I've contacted the Gaston County Sheriff's Department, and I'm trying to get some records on this. But what I've been told, and you guys have also kind of confirmed that, is that Donnie Sr. has told people, at least in the church and maybe you guys as well, that maybe she had some sleep apnea and died coughing on a cough drop.
Yep.
I was told sleep apnea because the whole entire family started getting checked for sleep apnea. My mama, even Donnie Sr. got checked himself for sleep apnea.
Now, sleep apnea is a thing, and you know, people can die from that. However, when you knew her, was she a healthy person? I mean, I've seen pictures of her when she was younger.
She's
Other
always
than
been a
Yeah, other than being a little overweight, I mean, she was pretty active and healthy.
Let me see if I can pull up this picture of her. Now, this is an older picture. Let's see if I can stop that, remove this screen. I don't know if I can. Well, that's okay. I can't pull it up, but I'm looking at a picture of her. You know, beautiful young woman, blonde hair, long blonde hair. So you thought she was in good health?
Yeah,
you
I would say she
know,
was.
I don't think we ever heard her to be in the hospital or to the doctor or anything for anything.
So what was Donnie Sr. doing for a living at this time? Was he a pastor?
Working at a
Well,
rental center place.
in the beginning in 1993, I married my first husband in 93 and left home. But before I left home, my grandfather used to tell my grandma all the time that if Donnie Sr. didn't grow up and get a job and be a man and take care of his family, he didn't know what he was going to do. My grandparents bought the diapers, they bought the formula, they paid the rent, they paid the power bill. Whatever Donnie and Monica needed, they paid for. My grandfather didn't like doing that, but my grandma, that's her baby, so she always helped out. But my grandfather used to say he needed to grow up, be a man, and get a job.
And those two, Donnie Sr. and Monica, had Donnie Jr.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
They were still young, 17, 18 years old when, they got married and stuff. Well, she was 15. He was 18 when they got married. And then Donnie Jr. came along, and it was kids raising kids. They didn't he wouldn't work. He wouldn't do anything. It wasn't until after my grandfather died that he started trying to work and take care of his family.
And it was at like a TV rental place. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, like one of those rental center places. I can't remember the name. Ace? Was it Ace?
And
TV
she worked
rental.
there. And she worked there too.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Where did she die?
Lincoln at home, but Lincoln in Hospital is where they took her.
So she died at home, but who's home?
Hers and
There.
his.
Okay, so they had a separate residence. They didn't live with family.
Yes.
And where was Donnie Jr. when all this happened?
He was at home
Where-
too.
Yeah, he was at home too when it happened.
And I haven't heard the 911 call, but did he found his wife unresponsive and did he call 911 right away?
Apparently, she woke him up gasping for air and rolled out and fell out of the bed into the floor. The 911 operator said that he actually heard her take her last breath.
But he called his mama before he called 911 and said that she was having trouble breathing. She is making funny noises in her sleep. What should he do? And my grandma told him to hang up and call 911.
Do you know what kind of time this was? 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock?
Oh, it had to have been around 2 a.m. because they come beating on our door because our mom had a habit of turning the phone off at night. So they come beating on the door maybe 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah, and then mama called me about 7 or 8 the next morning.
Yeah.
Was she dead at the house or died at the hospital?
At the hospital. I'm pretty sure she took her last breath at home, but they couldn't pronounce her dead till she got to the hospital.
Makes sense. Does anybody in the family have a death certificate or cause of death?
No, according to our stepdad, he says that on the death certificate it said that they didn't have a cause of death, but that they could not rule out sleep apnea.
Did they do an autopsy?
Nope.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Because remember, her mama raised Cain when it happened, wanting an autopsy done.
Lucy and Diane, her mama and her sister, they wanted an autopsy, but Donnie, being her husband, ruled the two of them, and he said he didn't want an autopsy done.
But your 27-year-old wife, the mother of your only son, just died. Why wouldn't you want to know how she died?
That's what made people start thinking that he did something to her because he was cheating on her with Wynette at this time. And if you look at how soon Gracie came along, it makes it look like he may have knocked Wynette up before Monica even died.
Okay, hold on. Does anybody know Gracie's birthday?
I don't know. Once he moved away, which I tried myself to stay away from him anyways, but once he moved away, that was all the contact I had.
I'm not 100% sure of her birthday, but I know that it's not long after they got married that she was born.
Grady.
The lines just kind of do what, Jennifer?
Grady, not Gracie. Grady.
Grady, that's it. Grady. He's the oldest. Never mind. I don't know why I said Gracie.
Grady.
Oh, okay. All right. So, well, hold on. He would have been 18 in 2020.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2020. Now, so that doesn't work out. He was born. If the math works out, she died in the year 2000.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah.
And Grady was born in 2002.
Yep, that's about right.
All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Going there for a second. Okay, so But you said something earlier. So you're saying, how do you know that senior Donnie Senior was cheating on Monica with Juanette?
Well, because Juanette worked at a bank in Dallas at the time. And that's where they would go do their drops, their deposits for the rental place that they worked at. And she found pictures of Juanette at her house. The pictures were not taken at her house, but she found pictures, I guess that Big Donnie had of Juanette. And then our
No,
he ran with Big Donnie, and he's got a big mouth.
How long prior to her death did she find these pictures?
Maybe 6 months, if even that long, because I was working one night and she come and picked me up from work with the excuse that my mama was in the hospital. When I get out to the car, my mama's in the car and they're laughing, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Donnie was out cheating at that very moment, and she was on her way to go find him. And again, he was with my stepdad at that time.
that happened a lot during their marriage together, Donnie and
Yep.
Monica. The family always knew his girlfriends. There was a preacher's daughter that we grew up with. There was a waitress at a restaurant where my grandma's had lunch with him and her. Everybody in the family always knew when Donnie Sr. had girlfriends, but no one told Monica. They
Yep.
would write Monica to go try to find Donnie Sr., but they wouldn't tell Monica who the girlfriends were. My grandma knew it and she covered it up. My stepdad knew it and wouldn't say nothing. My mom wasn't allowed to say anything because she wanted to stay in good graces with her brother and her mama and her family. So you can't tell the in-law that your brother's cheating on you.
Well, between
So
the son and the father, they got a lot of girlfriends.
everybody knew and everybody kept it a secret. I was married and had my own family and I just didn't get involved. But
Yeah.
yes, we all knew just like the Donnie basement situation. We always know what's going on. We just aren't allowed to say anything.
Okay. And then he gets married again.
4 months, 4 months and 9 days after she died.
That doesn't sound like a grieving husband to me.
No,
Yeah. And right after they got married, they came and stayed in a motorhome that my parents had at our house. And I can't remember exactly how long they stayed, but they stayed in the motorhome. Little Donnie stayed inside our house because I would call when I would go out with friends to check in on him. And a lot of times I would have to go back home and hang out with little Donnie because he was upset, crying about his mama. And dad just pretty much said, no, I don't want to deal with him. And then after that, they went and stayed at our other aunt and uncle's house. Little Donnie stayed inside our aunt and uncle's house. Juanette and Donnie stayed in a trailer on their property. So it's like they was trying to push little Donnie out from the very beginning.
yeah, I got his dog after his mama died. They left the dog and they left the kid, Donnie Jr., with our parents so they could go on their honeymoon. When they come
Yep.
back 2 weeks later, they took Donnie Jr., but they didn't take the dog. So I went and got the dog, and me and my mama discussed that if it wasn't for him being a kid, we think Wynette would have left him too.
Where'd they go on honeymoon?
I don't know, where did they go? They 2 weeks with our grandma. They took our grandma with them.
Didn't I
Did she
go to the
pay?
beach?
Did she pay for it?
Be in Myrtle Beach. That's a family spot.
Grandma pay for it?
Granny probably did foot the bill. Knowing Granny,
She probably did.
Well, that's the only reason I can think of to bring your mother along. And she's like, well, if I'm paying for this, I'm going too.
I'm going to.
yep.
She probably did.
And they're gone for 2 weeks. All right. And then you got the dog. How was the dog?
The dog was awesome. I mean, that was Monica's baby. She couldn't have any more kids, apparently, after she had little Donnie. The dog was given to little Donnie as a present from Monica's mama. But because Monica couldn't have any more children, she doted on that dog as much as she did her only kid. So when I got the dog was used to eating only Oscar Mayer bologna and weenies. I had to cut that out. But we did joke about, Wynette didn't want anything, no pictures. Donnie Senior's house in High Shoals, where Monica died, it looked like he had went to run errands and never came back. He left pictures. He left all of Monica's stuff in the house. And anything that belonged to Monica, Lynette wanted no part of. And we did. We talked about that if it wasn't for Donnie Jr. being a kid, they would have probably left him too because he was Monica's. And Lynette didn't want anything to do with Monica.
They never even allowed him to have pictures of her, did they?
He couldn't have a picture of her. He
Couldn't
couldn't talk.
about her.
No.
I can't find, 2000 was before really social media.
Yes.
I can't find any pictures of Monica.
I've got some of her, but they're on my phone.
Yeah, the only pictures that we ever had were the pictures that, like I said, he left behind. And then people went in and just took things out of the house.
Well, if you can share those, that would be great because I think she needs a voice.
Yes.
It just seems weird circumstances. And then he moves to South Carolina. How did Senior become a preacher? How do you go from TV?
Well,
preacher?
they were doing the gospel trio, Donnie and Monica and Donnie Jr. They were a gospel trio. They sung gospel music. They made cassette tapes. They made CDs. They went around to churches. They did tent revivals. They sung gospel music. And from my understanding, when he got over to South Carolina, I know he tried to continue the gospel trio with Lynette and Donnie Jr., but it didn't work out. So somehow in the church he attended, they needed a pastor from what I heard, and they asked him if he wanted to be the new pastor, and he said, yeah.
And for a while, he worked at that funeral home.
And he did some check cashing places in South Carolina.
Yeah.
That got financial fraud issues.
Say that again?
He's got into
financial fraud. If you look him up, he's got records of financial fraud.
Different cases. They were in some very serious financial issues. They were being sued by people over money. So that tells me again, if you're being sued and you've got all these liens and stuff against you, where's your money coming from? Because you're living above what you are making.
So he doesn't own that Friendship Baptist Church. He's just a
preacher
there.
Yeah, he's just a pastor.
Okay. And when you said funeral home, somebody had mentioned to me that. Did he just work at this funeral home or crematorium? What was it?
Yeah, he would go pick up the bodies, take them to the funeral place.
And Donnie Jr. didn't legally on paper work there. But when his dad failed, he would take Donnie Jr. with him to pick up bodies. You watched your wife die a horrible death, choking, and then you become a funeral home person that you go pick up dead bodies?
How old is Donnie Jr. at this time?
Teenager? Wasn't he a teenager?
I think he was about 13, 14 when he started, maybe 15.
Mm-hmm.
So Senior worked for somebody.
Yes.
Does he still do that?
Not that I know of.
All right. So now they live in this nice house in Lancaster, South Carolina. He's a preacher. He's got 3 kids, one of which is by another woman. Mm-hmm. Grady is the second oldest. He's the middle child.
Yes. Yep. Grady.
Grady is, as far as I know, he's gone. No one has filed a missing persons on him?
No. No, Donnie Sr. says he's an adult,
I
so
mean,
he can do what he wants, and he
They claim
chose not.
I
they
mean,
claim he lives in Michigan.
Michigan is what my grandma said.
Yeah.
I have done an extensive look, and I've had other people that are um, in the business with me look, and I've had a private investigator look. This
We
kid's in
got
this.
family members, including Leeanne herself, that can find anyone, but we cannot find Grady.
Yeah, I should have been a detective in my lifetime because I can find some stuff, but I cannot find nothing on Grady. It's
Have
I
an
like,
mean,
aunt found our daddy after 17 years, but she can't find Grady.
this is CIA stuff. He just poof, he's gone.
yeah,
Yeah,
he disappeared.
and if you want to know my theory is that I don't think Grady made it out alive. When Donnie Jr. made these threats that he knew how to get rid of a body, I think he helped his daddy cover up a body. In my own theory.
And
In
our
my
mom,
own Go ahead, Lee.
mama, until the day she died, she honestly thought that they did something to Grady. And for our mama to think that, because Big Donnie was like her baby, but for her to even think that, it just makes you wonder even more.
So I'll put this out there, Grady. If you're listening, your family wants to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you. You don't have to come on camera. You don't have to do anything. We can just what's going on? What happened in this
We just
family?
want to know if he's alive. That'll put that theory to rest.
That he's alive and he's okay.
Yeah, did somebody ask the officer how he got a hold of Grady?
He,
No, detective told me that Grady had been talked to and that he wants nothing to do with any of this. And again, that just
Uh-uh. No, that doesn't work that way.
no. He
no,
said that
because they would treat him like a hostile witness at the least, especially in a big case like this.
you gotta bring him in. You gotta talk to him.
he said that Grady had some horror stories. So wouldn't that mean make him a big part of this case if he's got some stories from the inside of the house that's worse than what we all know?
You would think it would.
And in my opinion, I do know police have been known to lie just to see if you have info to give up. And I think they just told everybody that Grady had been found to see if we would give any info. But we don't have info. We want info.
That right there is a I think just as big as a story as the
It
Donnie
is.
Birchfield Jr. story is.
When my
Um,
mama told me that years ago that Grady's been missing for so many years because Donnie kicked him out because he didn't believe in God, bells went off in my head then. But, you couldn't tell my mama something like that, hey, wait a minute, could he have been murdered by your brother? You may make mama mad, so I didn't say that, but that's
And
what I thought.
even if she says it to you, you cannot agree with her because yes, it would make her mad.
but you've got an 18-year-old who doesn't really have any money,
No,
no car, no driver's license, and the friends that I've contacted, no one's really gotten back to me on this except for one, and they were like, "I have no idea. I haven't heard from him since high school,
and
and he
see,
hasn't contacted the family." So
the story is Grady didn't believe in God and didn't want to go to church anymore, so Donnie kicked him out. But Donnie Jr. don't believe in God and don't go to church. Why did he get to stay in the basement, but Grady got kicked out?
Donnie Jr.
Yeah, it don't
doesn't go
make
to church.
sense.
You've got two sons that are pastor's sons, but they don't believe in God. Something's wrong with that picture. I know there's hypocrites in church, but hypocrites don't make me not believe in God. I still believe in God. But a pastor who's preaching something behind the pulpit, but doing something else behind closed doors, will have some people going, there is no God,
Yep.
including his sons. And his daughter don't attend the church he goes to. She attends a separate church.
Wow, this thing's getting deep. Does anybody know where here he is right here. Alvin is at this point?
In a home. Didn't they say he was in a home for I guess elder? Yeah, there you go. Like a group home.
Vulnerable, but I don't know which one.
And where's Shirley's family in all this?
I've heard that Shirley's family is in Alabama.
Oh yeah, that's what Lee said.
Our stepfather, he knew Shirley and Alvin better than we did because he's been on these trips with them.
He's even been
And
in the basement.
yes,
Who has?
Our stepdad.
He's played video games with Donnie Jr. in the basement. They're gamers.
With Alvin and Shirley down there?
Yep. He claims they were all living there at the time. Yes.
Any questions that he had? Like
he has a lot of questions about all of this, but yeah.
He's one of them that they pushed to the basement too because they didn't want him upstairs. He didn't fit in
He's
with the
stable and he's loud and he don't fit into this type of society that they like to be in.
So he was always made to stay in the basement with Donnie Jr. when they visited.
Interesting. So your family knows there was people living in that basement.
Yes.
You guys knew that there was people living in that basement.
Yep.
You didn't know the conditions, right?
No, I was shocked when my sister messaged me, not Jennifer, but our little sister. She called me and she said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "Sitting down for what?" And I pulled it up and I was like, no, okay. Like it was, I was shocked. Shocked, but not shocked. It was weird.
But our stepdad called me and told me about it. And when I pulled it up on Google and I'm reading all of this, I'm like, okay, there's been a mistake somewhere. There's more to this that we don't know because this can't be true. Alan, Shirley, Brittany, I don't know this other girl, and Donnie Jr. No, something's went way wrong because we know all these people.
And we knew that they traveled. Our mom went lots of places with them. My mama would call me from Donnie's cell phone when they would go places, and I would talk to Donnie, and I would hear Brittany talking, and it sounded like they were all having fun.
What were Alvin and Shirley doing when these guys were out having
Alvin
fun?
was always the driver.
Huh?
And Shirley would, I guess, be in the passenger seat, and then Brittany, Mama, and Donnie would be in the back seat.
Who's Mama?
Our Mama.
And then we go back to the house. Okay, so what I'm trying to establish here is that Donnie Sr. and Wynette, and for that matter, Gracie, all knew there was people living in that basement.
They had to have known. There's no way they didn't know.
But then
no, because if we knew and we didn't live there, then they knew too.
I'm not sure which one I talked to you, but yesterday about this, but the girls would go upstairs and use the bathroom or go to the shower when Wynette and Donnie Sr. were gone.
Yep.
That's what the court case, the hearing case said, Detective Brown, that they would check Life 360, and that would tell them Donnie and Wynette was gone. Well, I've had Life 360 on my phone. If they can check it and see when Donnie and Wynette's gone, then Donnie and Wynette can check their Life 360 on their phone and see that, oh, Brittany's here. Alvin's here. They're here at our house. And being a cheating husband, you know Wynette's gonna pull 360 to see where her husband is when he's not at home. So she don't see Brittany and them connected to her Life 360.
Were they?
It don't make sense. They say no.
According to Detective Brown, they were.
So who's having a conversation with Detective Brown? When's the last time you spoke to him?
That'd be Jennifer.
Yeah, and I haven't spoke to him since the hearing. When I heard there was a hearing, and I texted him and asked him, was Donnie Jr. in court today? And he told me it was just a preliminary hearing. No big thing. That's the last time I.
It was the last hearing that was done was in front of a magistrate who said there was enough evidence there to move forward with
the charges, yes.
With a trial.
Yep.
So why haven't anybody else been charged besides Donnie Sr. or Jr.? Excuse me.
That's a good question.
But I'm guessing that because every time you dig into one question to answer that question, you come up with 15 more questions. I think they got somebody, and that's all they're going to do. I think it's too much for them to keep digging into, because if they dig into Monica's death, then they're going to find more people, because more than Donnie knew that. If he did something to Monica, he ain't held that in to himself this whole entire time. Somebody else knows. And the more you uncover, the more people it involves. So I think they just going to leave it alone. They got Donnie Jr. That's all they need. Somebody's going to be charged, and that's all the public needs.
But Leeanne, I talked to you yesterday, and you felt there is no way that Donnie Jr. did this by himself.
No. I believe wholeheartedly that Big Donnie was the puppet master pulling little Donnie's strings.
Yes.
And that Donnie will never turn on his father.
No, little Donnie has been conditioned. What's the word I'm looking for?
Washed. Okay, it goes back into the grooming, the abuse.
Little Donnie has been groomed to what he is today.
And not only that, but Brittany has to, because she's been there since she was 14. I wholeheartedly believe Brittany and Barfilia had something to do with the abuse of Alvin and Shirley. But can you blame them if they've been conditioned this way? But then can you blame little Donnie because he's been conditioned this way?
Well, I can't say I'm not going to blame him, and I can't say that he's not guilty, because if for some chance that Grady is alive, Grady left, why couldn't little Donnie just left when he turned 18?
And the same with girls. I believe the girls helped Donnie Jr. with the abuse. But again, they were victims at some point. Who ended up becoming monsters themselves just to survive.
But you said Donnie Jr. had been groomed to what he is today. What is he, in your opinion?
He's a monster. I mean, there's no other way to put it. If you look at him at that preliminary hearing, the looks on his face and like the little smirks he would make, and it's almost like he's dead behind his eyes. There's nothing there.
Did you think that years ago?
No, little Donnie was my favorite little cousin.
My favorite.
When
did
the one
you want to take care of.
When did he change?
Probably around the time that they took him off to South Carolina, I would say. When that boy, I don't believe, has ever had a room in the upstairs of a house. He's always been thrown in the basement. It's like they just did not want him. They wanted to keep him hid away from everybody.
He was the victim.
Also didn't want his mama's family to be able to have access to him.
He was the victim in the basement till he became older. and then he became the monster that held the victims.
And are we talking about just abuse, like violence and just withholding food, or are we talking
No,
about
Donnie
sexual?
Senior's not violent. Donnie Senior's not what you would say a monster if you met him. Donnie gains your control by letting you feel the love that you don't get nowhere else.
He's a narcissistic manipulator.
There
I
seems to be a
was
lot of
5.
those these days.
I hadn't even turned 6 yet. He was my older uncle that was supposed to take care of me and protect me. And that's what he told me, that he would protect me and take care of me, that he loved me. There was no one that could do wrong in my eyes. Donnie Sr. was everything to me. He was my protector. He took care of me. He loved me. And my daddy had left. And my mama was a single mama with 4 little girls. So when Donnie took me under his wing, he was 14, I was 6, about to turn 6. He makes you feel like he's going to take care of you. Even though he's hurting you, you don't know it because you don't see that. You see the love he's giving you. And I think that is exactly what he done to his son after his mama was gone. He gave him little crumbs of love, but enough that Donnie Jr. believes that Donnie Sr. is always going to protect him. But he made him like he is. I don't think he was abused in the way as like physical. I don't think he was beat. But it's that whole grooming thing that's not right. That I'm the
Yeah,
only one that loves.
but what
I'm the
about
one that's taking care of you. Nobody else is.
what about Alvin and Shirley? What kind of abuse do you think they saw?
I believe they suffered all kinds of abuse. Donnie
Physical,
Jr.
sexual.
He's angry. He's filled with rage. At one point, I let it fill me with rage, but I didn't act out the way he did. And I think, seriously, I think when he was upset because Donnie Sr. made him do something, then he took it out on Alvin and Shirley.
Well, it's just tragic because this seems like it's a hmm, generational thing.
It
It is.
is.
It is
And
100%.
And what about
And
Senior's father?
it all starts at Big Donnie and when he was a kid in the household that he grew up in.
yeah, because that wasn't a good household he grew up in.
Not at all. The stuff our mama went through, I don't really know if I want to say any of it on here, but yeah, that was not.
Our mother was raped by a family member. I won't say who. She always said that she was raped by a family member, but yet they were like this, her and him.
Yep.
Was trauma bonded to him, just same as I was to Donnie Sr., because Donnie Sr. was my abuser. It's happened in the family for years and no one talks about it. We just, it didn't happen. We don't talk about it.
I mean, I can see how that happens. If you avoid it, it'll go away, but it never goes
Yes.
away. It
No,
just sits
because if it's
there and
not
festers.
you, you're still another victim.
Right, and everybody deals with it differently. Clearly, Donnie has gone a different direction.
Donnie let him turn him into the family monster the way the rest of them were turned into family monsters.
I'm truly blown away because this case is starting to get national, almost international attention because everywhere you turn, I'm big into this whole Alec Murdaugh thing, but these things, there's doors here that it just opens here and it goes here and here and
Yeah.
here, and it just goes
This is
over.
And
what, yeah, this is way bigger and goes way back than before we were even alive.
yeah,
People don't
I,
understand the amount of the trauma and everything that just goes way back in our whole family.
I live in the Western North Carolina family comes from. And when Donnie Jr. made the threats of, I know how to get rid of a body, well, that is something that everybody in these mountains say. I live in the mountains, I can get rid of a body. But that's where our family comes from. They were moonshiners, they were drug dealers. And I mean, we have great grandfathers that did time in prison for murder over moonshine.
Yep.
So it's a family thing. And that you just can't cover it up anymore. They don't have any older family members to call on, say, "Hey, I need help."
When your mother's passed, correct?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did Donnie Senior come to the funeral?
He did her funeral service. Donnie Senior did.
Oh, he did.
Donnie Junior did not show up, and it's
Our
supposed.
mama begged from the time she was in the hospital until she went into hospice and passed away. She begged for little Donnie to come see her. And I was shocked that little Donnie was never there.
I begged him to come at least to the service and sing her favorite gospel song that he used to sing when he was a little boy. Walk
What'd he
around
say?
me, Jesus.
What'd he
He
say?
My mama loved to hear him sing "Walk Around Me, Jesus," but he didn't show up.
Did he say he was coming and didn't come, or why he
He
wasn't coming?
told me he would try his best, but he just did not think he could get off work. But at
And
the same time,
now
Where'd he work?
he
he's
didn't have
never.
a job.
We've been told he helped a friend move furniture on the road, so they may be in Pennsylvania today and in Washington D.C. tomorrow.
You
But
know that?
That
he's never worked a job.
I don't. I don't.
knowing what we know now, it makes sense that he didn't show up because that was 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, he wouldn't have been able to leave the basement and leave Alvin and Shirley there.
But he would have had the girls there.
And he has traveled with just him and Brittany and left Alvin and Shirley. Or he's traveled alone and left Brittany, Alvin, and Shirley.
But Donnie and Juanette would be in town.
Yeah. And I always with somebody because he didn't drive. So when he left with somebody.
Because he couldn't drive.
Yes.
Yep. But that's what makes me think there's no way Donnie and Juanette didn't know, because who was making sure they stayed in the basement while Donnie wasn't there?
That's what is still blowing my mind of what's going on. And I mean, I hear your answer. They want to dig further, but that's their job. It's always their job. I don't
That is
understand
it.
this with South
But I just
Carolina.
don't
I,
think they're going to do their job.
I hope they're doing their job.
I think so.
You had a quote here yesterday. It was our family was 50 ways of messed up. Seriously,
Yes.
flowers in the attic.
Yes.
Flowers in the attic is the perfect way to put it. There was just no attic to put us in.
Exactly. We were the 4 children that my mama went out and had and then brought back. So we were the outcast anyways.
For the
But
longest time, it was the only 4 girls. All the rest of the grandkids were boys.
yeah. And if you look at, in Flowers in the Attic, she married her uncle and she had his babies. Well, nobody married their uncles or anything like that in our family, but it's come close. Like I'm saying, there's a possibility, my mama's abuser could be the father of a child or two that my mama may have had.
Right.
We just
And
don't
we're trying,
know. Yeah, I don't know if we want to know.
Yeah.
I don't think we want to know.
So where does all this go from here?
Well, at this point, Donnie Jr. has no hope. I mean, he's in serious trouble.
You've reached out
He's
to
going
him.
to do prison time, and I don't think he's in a mental state to do prison time. So I'm hoping his mental capacity will allow him to do prison time without him ending his own life.
I mean, does he have any mental issues? I mean, besides what happened to him?
Nothing diagnosed, but you can tell. I've said it since day one of finding out. Detective Brown even said it. I don't think the poor kid has aged past the age of 10. If you talk to him personally, it's like talking to a child.
The kid,
He's
yep.
aged mentally past a certain age.
Usually, that's a sign of something traumatic happened around some sort of age. And it doesn't
Yes,
happen to everybody, but when it does, that's usually their brain stops
yes.
developing from
And I
where they
think
were.
his did at 10 when he lost his mama and had to live solely with Donnie and one aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he when he was younger, if he would be in town at my grandma's house, he always wanted my son to come over and play with him. And my son is a good almost 10 years younger than him. So that kind of shows you where his mental capacity was at.
And does anybody know where Brittany is today?
No,
I
she's
haven't
kind
heard
of.
anything on her.
I've checked her Facebook. She's got no new post. Nothing since she was released from the basement.
And she's not been arrested. Just
No,
No.
Berfilia.
Only
and
Berfilia was the only one arrested.
like I'm saying, I think if Brittany had been known in the basement at the moment, they would have probably arrested her too. But they didn't know she was still in the basement,
She was hiding in Donnie's room, wasn't she?
hiding in her bedroom.
Oh,
Donnie and
okay.
Buffy bedroom. Brittany had a bedroom.
Well, Berfilia was charged with failure to report abuse, neglect of a vulnerable adult, referring
Yes,
to Shirley and Alvin.
and
I mean, I don't
because
understand it.
she knew
Brittany was
what
there
was
for
happening,
10 years. If she was there for 10 years,
but they didn't know she was in the basement then. She didn't come forward till later.
well,
She wasn't found in the basement.
if the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division is watching this, you now know Jennifer was living there for 10 years, starting from the age
Brittany.
of 4. I'm sorry, Brittany, uh, from the
Brittany,
age of 4,
but Timber's gonna be the one that keeps talking until somebody does something.
14. Well, that's what we're trying to do because some of this makes sense, some of it doesn't make sense. As far as who's been charged and why they've been charged, it
Yes.
doesn't make any sense that Jennifer, I keep calling her Jennifer, that Brittany hasn't been charged. It doesn't make any sense to me that Donnie Sr. and Juanette aren't complicit in this because how do you have someone living in your basement for that long?
And you don't know it.
And the
I
more
mean,
questions you ask, the more questions there are.
I don't care if he's a pastor.
Uh-uh.
Pastors
The
do bad things.
pastor is just the name to cover up what you're really doing at home that you don't want people to know about. Because no one says, oh, the preacher did it. The preacher couldn't have done it. There ain't no way a preacher does that. Well, he wasn't a preacher when I knew him, and he was doing bad things then. So you tell me because you're a preacher now, you don't do bad?
Right.
No, you just trying to hide behind that preacher name.
Well, I ask it again. Where does this go from here? Besides, we're getting the word out. We are getting the
I'm
word out. The
hoping
word
it
is out.
leads I'm hoping it leads to more charges with other people because I don't think that little Donnie should take this full downfall on his own.
You should not. Everybody else needs to. Everybody else needs to go down with Donnie Jr. He wasn't in this alone. He may have acted in the end all by himself, but this did not start like this. Those people in the basement, because Bernie Sr. found them in his church and they all needed some friend. Donnie Jr. needed friends that kept him busy and away from them. And then But they knew.
What about Gracie?
Gracie, I think, is a victim herself at this point, where, again, she ain't going to turn on daddy. But I
But it
do
is
believe,
odd. It is odd that when they sat in court, Gracie sat on a whole different row by herself away from mom and dad.
I think she supports her brother, but in silence, because she still lives in that house. And I don't think she can outright tell.
She still lives in that house. How old is Gracie?
20, 21?
20. I think she's the same age as Liv. Is she 22? I think she was born the same year Nicole and Liv was born.
That would make her 22. I know I saw on Facebook happy 20th birthday, but I don't know if I saw any past 20.
Yeah, I think I saw she's doing some singing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In church separate than her daddy's church.
That's interesting. All right. Well, let's talk. This case is going to go on for a long time.
Yes.
It's just starting. Let's do this and follow up again in his next court case. I'll look up that and see when it is. He just had one here in the state of South Carolina. They're moving forward with the trial. So now I'm assuming that they're going to set a trial date. Discovery's going to continue on, but I gotta think Sled is doing something else behind the scenes with these other people.
I would hope so.
I would like to see other people charged as well. Maybe they wasn't a part of the heinous, the abuse and stuff, but they did know what was going on and they didn't stop it.
Any last words going out to this particular case? I mean, we talked about the flowers in the attic, which I thought was an interesting one, and you thought that Donnie is a victim, but that he changed from victim to monster.
Monster, yes. And unfortunately, if you don't heal what hurts you, you're going to let it hurt other people in some way.
Leeanne? Leeanne?
No, I have no other thoughts. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to 97.7 WVFF Veterans for Freedom Radio, the Truth in Broadcasting Corporation. We have Leeanne Lightsey and Jennifer Whitlow, cousins to one Donnie Birchfield Jr., and Senior is your uncle.
Yes.
Yeah.
When was the last time you talked to him?
At our mom's funeral.
And I didn't even talk to him.
I was about to say, and I didn't even talk to him. I didn't say two words to him.
Probably in 30 years, even though we always get thrown together during family affairs. I've not spoke to him probably in 30 years.
How long ago did your mom pass?
2.
Did you talk to him before that?
Nope. He was at the hospital when my mama was in her end stages. Him, Wynette, and Gracie. I didn't speak to any of them.
No, I didn't either.
I literally don't.
I've had problems with Big Donnie since I was 16 and old enough to where I didn't care what I said to him or what I did. So he's never liked me. I've always been the one in the family that I said what come to my head and I didn't care.
Woman that stands up for herself and her family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually abusers like that and narcissistic personalities don't like people that stand up to them.
No.
Yeah.
No. We'll leave it at that. Ladies, thank you very much for taking your time out of the day. Let's keep up on this. This is not going to go away. It's only going to get bigger. And I appreciate your time spending it with us here.
No problem.
All right. We'll see you later. Swamp Justice Radio 97.7 WVFF.